to thank Nick and the Insiders Room for letting me use their platform for this show. And if you haven't yet, check out the Insiders Room on Discord. There's a lot of free picks and info from time to time. And we're starting to ramp up the live shows. And if you did catch the one live show Friday with the AM Plus Money, he had a huge day going 4-0 with his soccer, football plays. So check that out if you want some easy winners. You can find me at covers.com and picksandparlays.com. Also, check out the Picks and Parlays YouTube channel for a lot of free picks from the handicappers there and some really good, interesting shows. So for today's show, I plan on talking about the national championship come Monday, and I have a special guest for today's show. He was my college roommate and gambling buddy at Michigan State. And we used to gamble on everything from cards, automatic baseball, and even which elevator would come down first while we were waiting in the lobby. So without further ado, I give you my tag team partner, Rick Markel. How you doing?
Hey, thanks a lot. I'm doing great. And hello, everybody. Yeah, we used to gamble on everything. We'd spit on the wall and see which one comes down first. Those were the days, right?
Those were the days. Yep. We'd start playing cards at 6 o'clock at night, and then at 6 in the morning we'd go once around the table and go to breakfast. So yeah,
that's right. The game ended when breakfast started. Yep.
All right. So before we get down to business at hand and talk about the game Monday, I know you went to state, but you were a Michigan man at heart. And there was some big news Friday that came down. Harbaugh signed an extension to remain as coach. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I know you're a big Michigan football fanatic.
It was a very dark day for Michigan football. I don't know why they offered him an extension in the first place. The guy didn't check any of the boxes what he was supposed to do at Michigan. We're further away from Ohio State now than we were when he took over the program. Then they offer him a contract extension, and what does he do? He goes and whores himself out to other NFL teams and tries to get a job, and then nobody wants him, so then he'll come back to Michigan. What an utter joke. And I'll tell you something, he signed a 5-year extension. He's supposed to be there till 2026. My best bet of the year is that there's no way he survives the 2026 contract. And just wait, what's going to happen next year when he turns in another 6-win season because the cupboard's bare, and then Michigan's going to be in the same position, and this problem won't go away until they get another football coach. A dark day for Michigan football.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny. It's like if you were at a normal job and you go in for your yearly review and your boss says, yeah, Rick, yeah, you did okay. You didn't really do everything we wanted you to do. You didn't really meet your goals, and yeah, I guess we'll take you back, but you're going to have to take a 50% pay cut. And you go, screw this, and you go out for another job, and nobody else in the industry wants you, so you come back and say, yeah, I guess that $4 million is not so bad.
I would have just loved to have heard what would have happened if, remember when Bo Schembechler was the athletic director, and Jim Harbaugh goes into that room and says he's not going to sign a contract. Bo would have thrown him out there as no, you sign this or you get lost and you never step in Ann Arbor again. I would have loved to have heard how that conversation went down.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. All right, well, let's get to the semifinal games and talk about those a little bit. I mean, what were your takeaways from the Alabama-Notre Dame game?
I thought Notre Dame played better than I thought they were capable of. I really thought Alabama would dominate. Notre Dame gets a backdoor cover, and they hung with them for a long time. It didn't seem to me like Alabama was able to enforce their will upon Notre Dame. I thought it'd be an easy game, and I thought Notre Dame looked pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought Notre Dame showed who Notre Dame is. I mean, yeah, they kept it respectable, but again, it's I heard coming into this game a lot of people making the comparisons of Book to Montana, and of course, nobody. I would say maybe on the college level those comparisons might be legitimate. But that also goes back to kind of my point with Notre Dame, and it's almost like Michigan football. Yeah, it was like, yeah, he played college football like Montana, but you're talking like, what, late 70s, early 80s?
Yeah, to the last time that they were prominent. But the thing with that comparison is with Montana, Notre Dame would have had a chance to actually win the game. I thought there was no time at any time in that football game that Notre Dame actually had a chance to win. When I say they were competitive, I expected them to lose by 30. So when they got a backdoor cover, I think that they were competitive. But if Montana was there, maybe that team at least competes and has a chance to win. With Book, they don't have that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I didn't think. I thought the game pretty much played out. The thing about Notre Dame, the one weakness with Bama is that kind of not their corners but their safeties, and Notre Dame just doesn't have the athletes or the talent to take advantage of that deep. So yeah, that game was pretty much went how I expected. The second game that day was Clemson Ohio State, and that one, I don't know, that one kind of surprised me a little bit. You got to give Fields a lot of credit for hanging in there. I mean, he seemed to play better with broken ribs than without. You know, like if you go back to that Big Ten championship game, he looked lost out there. So yeah, I thought they looked good, and Sermon, you know, he's kind of doing what people thought he was going to do when he went to Oklahoma. So what was your take on that game?
I was absolutely shocked on that game. I thought Clemson would run away with it. I'm not going to lie. The thing that really stuck out to me the most, though, was that Ohio State dominated both lines of scrimmage. And I didn't think Ohio State would be able to do that against Clemson. Why that was important was because every time Lawrence tried to throw downfield, he didn't have the timing, was constantly pressured. Had I known that was going to happen, there's no way I would have taken Clemson. I mean, Lawrence didn't have a comfortable pocket the whole day. And I'll give my hats off to Ohio State. Part of the other handicap was Ohio State had only played 6 games. You could make the case that they weren't tested against anybody. Their biggest test was what? Maybe Northwestern. And in that game, Fields throws 3 picks. So, I mean, I thought that Clemson was a big step up, and I didn't think Ohio State could handle it. But they got the job done. But I think the key was that they dominated both lines of scrimmage.
Well, yeah, I agree. And yeah, and I think with Clemson losing started the game without their starting safety, and then losing with the middle linebacker for the rest of the game. I think that kind of, but you can't take anything away from Ohio State, and you know, and they're a lot different when Olave's out starting at wide receiver when he's out. So yeah, I was kind of impressed with Ohio State. Now that brings us to what we're all here for. It brings us to the big Monday night matchup, Alabama Ohio State. What's your first takeaways on that game?
Well, my take on that game has to do a little bit with how I saw the Clemson-Ohio State game. As I said, Ohio State dominated the line of scrimmage. Well, here's my key for the big game tomorrow night. Alabama has one of the best, if not the best, offensive line in the entire country. In fact, I will go out on record as saying they have by far the best offensive line. That means Mac Jones is going to have a clean pocket. If Mac Jones, if he has a complete pocket, clean pocket, he's going to bury Ohio State. I just don't see how Ohio State's secondary can match up with Alabama. That is a weakness, and I think everybody who's watched Ohio State play this year, that is their weakness, the secondary. And I just see Devontae Smith having a huge afternoon. So I really like that matchup for Alabama. There's no way Ohio State controls the Alabama offensive and defensive lines. Plus, now you have a quarterback in Justin Fields who's not going to be as mobile as he typically is, and I see them putting a lot of pressure on him. And I'm sure Saban's told him, if you get a free hit on the quarterback, take him out. It's no fun playing with it's no fun playing with sore ribs. They said he had to take shots at halftime or whatever to get back into the game. I would imagine he's going to go down and hurt very early in the contest. He may finish the game, and I'll give him credit for it, but he's not going to be the same quarterback.
Yeah, I don't even think that. I agree with you, but I don't even think that's something that has to be said. I don't think Saban.
Right. Yeah.
I think that's just a given. But yeah, I think that's going to be a big thing because that defense, like you said, they do have the best offensive line in football at Alabama, and they got, if not the best, the second best defensive front in college football. So yeah, I think Fields, if he's not, he's not going to be close to 100%, but even at 80%, I think he's going to struggle. I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure. If he gets hit a couple of times, that's really going to hurt. And I think they'll be able to take their 10 and just lock down Olave.
That's That's what I was going to say. I mean, Clemson didn't have a Patrick Surtain sitting back in the secondary. And when you see Fields throw 3 interceptions against a nameless Northwestern defense, what's going to happen to him tomorrow night? Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, that's a great point.
All right. Yeah, I agree there. And yeah, and I just and Waddle maybe they're talking Waddle may even come back.
I fully expect he'll at least make an appearance. And if they get him, I mean, what do you do if you're Ohio State? You got to double team one of those guys. The other guy could have a field day. Yeah. There's nothing Ohio State does better than Alabama. Alabama does everything that Ohio State does, only a little bit better.
Well, I think what Ohio State does then is just claim COVID.
Yeah, exactly. We don't even know. We don't even know who's going to play for Ohio State tomorrow night. We don't.
Yeah. Here's my whole take on that. If Urban was there, I would have no doubt that he was trying to pull something. Try to get the game put off another week or two and get Fields healthy. It wouldn't surprise me if Urban was there. That's what was going on. But
exactly. I saw a Twitter feed. The guy was saying this was Tuesday, and he was from Columbus, and he said Ohio State was very concerned, and they were making every effort to try to get the game pushed back because of their COVID issues. I don't know if that's smoke or whatever, but now it's apparent that they're going to play tomorrow night. I don't think it matters, but it'll be a sideline.
But here's my also thing about that is, I mean, they had COVID issues 3-4 weeks ago. What, you haven't figured it out yet?
Right, exactly. If they went into quarantine for 2 weeks and they had, one game postponed against Michigan, then shouldn't that be enough time to come back from it? Or are they, like you said, using it as an excuse? I'm sure a guy like Urban Meyer, though, would have played every angle. So, yeah.
So okay. So let's get down to picks. What's your pick for this game? I've seen the line 8.5.
I got to say, I'd still take Alabama. Now, I'll admit I jumped on the game last week when it was 7 because I figured 7 was the number. It was only going to go up. But I think 8.5 is still a certain play. As long as you get it under 10, makes for a great teasing opportunity as long as you can get it at 8.5 or under, so you get it under 2.5 and under a field goal. Another real good bet on the game, I've been writing this for years, Alabama in the first half. Alabama first half plays almost always win. I think tomorrow night you can get a -4.5. Usually when you play Alabama in the first half, you're laying at least 10, sometimes 2 touchdowns. So I think that's a bargain. First half Alabama -4.5, and then the game at 8.5. You use them as a teaser play to get them down to 2.5.
Okay, sounds good. Any thoughts on the total?
It's too high. I mean, I like everybody. I see a lot of scoring, but come on, 75 points? Are you kidding me? If that means either team has to punt twice, it's going to go under. I mean, I hate to take unders in college football, but at 75, at 65, I'd be on all over it. But at 75, I have to take the under pass.
All right. Yeah, sounds good, Rick. And yeah, I think that should call it for the show. And thanks a lot for coming on here with all your insights and your Michigan perspective. And hopefully, this week, we'll get a hold of it. We can do this on maybe a weekly basis and start talking college hoops and hockey. And I know your Red Wings have got some work to do this year.
A lot of work. Yeah, thanks so much for having me. There's nothing really big on the Detroit sports scene, unfortunately, because everybody sucks, including Michigan football. So
hey, live gambling's coming soon. Mobile gambling's coming soon, so we can all hope for that.
Never have to leave your couch and ruin your life right there.
Yep. All right.
But we can. So anyhow.
Yep. All right, Rick. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. And talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. That'll do it for the Professor's Corner here with me, the Professor Dan Kaiser. I hope you enjoyed that. Some good information from Rick. He's not one of the big name guys you see on websites or on sites or whatever, but he is pretty knowledgeable, and we've been doing this for years. So appreciate everything. Appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, get on the Insiders Room, get on our Discord, check that out. There's a lot of good information there, and the YouTube channel for picks and parlays. You get a lot of good picks and information there. So that'll be it for this show, and catch you guys soon. We're out.